So for my part, you're gonna see me probably shift a lot because I'm trying to clean my room since like it's the new year. You're supposed to have a clean room for like good energy. If you see me in many places, that's fine. For my favorite show, okay, if you know me, you know it's One Tree Hill, and I've mentioned it before on this channel. Daphne knows, and I've loved it since 8th grade. Yes, 8th grade? Middle school at least, for sure. So I've loved it since then, and I love One Tree Hill. I think there's 187 episodes, about 40 minutes each, 9 seasons, and I definitely recommend because it's able compared to Dawson's Creek, but I've never seen Dawson's Creek, so if it's the OG, I'm sorry. I just really love it, and I recommend watch it. And my second favorite is gonna be Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it, guys. It's super, super cool. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I know it's gotten a little bit of hate or backlash. I've heard people say like Brooklyn Nine-Nine isn't good representation for police because in Brooklyn Nine-Nine they try their hardest to be woke. And in reality that's not really the case and a lot of the times. So that's why it's kind of gotten some backlash or that I've seen. But I just love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think they tackle so many important issues. And I think it's what police departments should strive to be, you know? They do talk about so many important things. Like, they really do. I really love the episode where Amy, oh, well, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, where Amy tells Jake her experience with a man who had a position of power above her, using that against her. And it was just very, very moving because a lot of women, if you ask, they have they have experienced a situation like that. And it was just really moving to see it because it's a real issue, and I think it's just so hard to talk about sometimes. And you can tell Amy had a really hard time, and please watch it. It's really, really good. I love One Tree Hill, and I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And if you watch One Tree Hill, oh my god, Nathan and Haley are my everything. They're like my everything. I can't even, they're my everything. P.S. You can watch both of them on Hulu.
I have a lot of favorite shows because I am indecisive and I can't pick just one. I'm gonna recommend or, say 2 of my favorite shows at the moment. Okay, so the first one is a show called, what is it called? That's a good question. It's called Sweet Home, I think. Sweet Home. Yes. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, so Sweet Home revolves around this guy, the main character, right? It's like a teenager, I think. He moves into an apartment complex all by himself, and you get to know why he moved in by himself and like his backstory and stuff like that, which is really sad. I cried a little. I don't know why, but I cried a little. I smile while I say that. I'm like, oh, you get to learn about him and stuff, and you get to see him struggling. But that's not the whole thing. So the main problem is that out of nowhere, people start turning into like monsters and stuff, and they attack humans, and no one really knows why it's happening. Like, everyone's trying to figure it out. Well, not everyone, but people are trying to figure it out, and people are scared and stuff. The whole show is about like surviving and stuff and living, and so many things happen, like so many unexpected things, crazy things happen to the main character and other characters. You get attached to characters. Well, I get attached to characters, and I get so sad when something happens. There's a guy, people start turning into monsters, and guy tries to live. Everyone tries to live, and crazy thing happen. This show, I watched it on Netflix. It's Korean, and yeah. So if you don't like reading subtitles, I don't know. The second show I would recommend is it's called 3%. It's on Netflix also. It's Brazilian, I think. So yeah, you're gonna need subtitles also. A little bit about it, like a little summary. So in this world, there's two groups of people. One group lives in poverty, so there's a lot of violence and stuff like that where they live. There isn't a lot of resources, and things are bad for this group. And the second group are people that are considered elite, and they live in a different place. And these people live in a place where like there's no hunger and there's no sickness and everyone gets along and stuff like that. So yeah, they're considered elite, and where they live, it's considered a paradise. So every time a person turns 20 from the first group, they get the chance to try to get into the paradise. So they undergo a lot of different tests to see what kind of person they are and if they could pass it. So they go through tests to test their strength, their how smart they are, how well they work with other people and stuff like that. And the tests are pretty intense. They're so intense that only 3% of like hundreds and hundreds of people that apply could pass. You get to learn the backstories of the people there and like why they want to go into the island, and everyone has their reasons, right? Everyone has like a dark past, and it's very interesting. It gave me a lot like Maze Runner vibes for some reason. It's not Maze Runner, but it gave me those vibes kind of. And it was pretty cool. I'm not done with it. I think there's like 4 seasons. I think 4. And yeah, it's very cool. And yeah.
Hey guys, so I guess you can tell it's kind of getting serious. Oh, a long time ago, but I put up a ponytail, and you know that means working hard, kind of. I think it's going okay. Kind of. Kind of. So, my favorite movies, huh? So, I've been trying to think about it, and I think, to be honest, my favorite movie would have to be a tie. Oh, I think we actually are doing 2 movies. One is 500 Days of Summer, probably. And that might just be because that's the one freshest on my mind, because I've been wanting to rewatch it for like, I don't know, the 5th or 6th time. And I watched it when I was really, really young. And I thought it was a love story. And if you watch it, you understand like why it's not, as I later on understood. And it's really like a whole, like a manic pixie girl kind of thing. But you realize there's more to a woman than the idea of her. Because sometimes you fall in love with the idea of a person and not the person itself. I mean, themselves, sorry. And I just really love that movie. I really loved how it does shine some accountability on the main character. I just really, really love that movie. But I also really, 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 really love the Twilight series. Y'all probably expected that. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm probably like literally just talking about watching Naruto and Twilight and Six of Crows. So yeah, I love Twilight. Like, Twilight is my everything. I watched Twilight when it came out in the theaters with my uncle, who I actually watched 500 Days of Summer with. With Twilight, I loved it so much. I went and was like, I need to read all the books, like right now. And I had never been a big reader until that moment. So Twilight is actually the one that got me into reading, especially because I would take Twilight, the book, with me to school, and the top reader was like, you won't be able to read it. And I was like, oh yeah, watch me. But then I read all of them and became second. My biggest regret in life is not beating him, like, in reading Renaissance. I guess Twilight just makes me super nostalgic, especially like the first one, like the color scheme, like the blue hue that was purposely done in Twilight. I just love that. And then New Moon, directors avoided the color red for most of the movie until the very like end with the Volturi scene. So that was one thing. I can't remember if Eclipse has a color. No, like they were just so iconic, you know. Twilight defined the generation. Like, even if you didn't like Twilight, you had an opinion on it. Remember when like Team Jacob and Edward was like the biggest thing ever? The really good thing about getting into Twilight when I did was all the books were already out. And I remember my friend, I guess my friend or classmate, I don't remember who it was, but my classmate, I guess, told their parents that I was reading Twilight. And then when she did, she came and told me, my mom said she can't believe your mom would let you read Twilight series. And I never understood why, even though I had already finished the series, I think by then. And it's because in the last one, or like, Bella wants sex, and they finally do have sex, right? In the last one. But I was like in 4th grade when I read it, so I had no idea what sex was. Like, the scene, I was just like, oh, they're doing stuff. I knew that, but I just imagined it, I guess, as kissing. I don't really know. I just knew it was grown-up stuff. I didn't really process that scene, I guess, because maybe I was too young, or like I didn't want to. I don't know. So, Twilight! And I think the Twilight series are probably on Amazon Prime. They were for a while. I'm not sure if they still are. And 500 Days of Summer, apparently you can watch on Hulu, but with a Stars account. Like, if you have them both, or the something. I tried looking them up on a website, and I couldn't find it. So I'm really sad, because I wanted to watch it. But I think it's like $3.99 on YouTube. I wouldn't buy it, but... Well, not because it's not worth it. I'm just cheap. But I really, really love those 2 movies. Watch them. They're super amazing. And I love the actor from... I just really, really love the actor from 500 Days of Summer. I'm already going on 5 minutes, sorry. I love the actor from... He's one of my favorite actors ever. Joseph. Like, he's just so... He plays all his roles really well. Alright, bye guys. Wish me luck.
My favorite movie of all time is Howl's Moving Castle. It is so beautiful. It is amazing. One of a kind, show-stopping, talented, chef's kiss. It is one of the most amazing movies I have ever seen. Way I first watched this movie, well, my sister showed me this movie because I don't know, she suddenly became obsessed with Studio Ghibli. Ghibli? I think that's how it is. I don't know, I might be mispronouncing it. But yeah, so she started watching a bunch of films of Studio Ghibli. Yeah, I happened to watch Howl's Moving Castle, and it was amazing. Everything was so pretty, and the soundtrack was amazing, and I just loved it so much. And honestly, I could watch that movie over and over and over again, and I would never get tired of it. If you haven't watched if you haven't watched Howl's Moving Castle, basically, in short, there's this girl, and she gets a curse, which makes her turn old, and then she meets this guy named Howl, and Howl has a castle, and you know, she's just trying to break the curse, but you get to know how, and you get to know what's happening in his life, and like, it's just so beautiful. And there's love, there's romance, there's danger, there's action, there's so many things, and it's amazing. I will always recommend this movie to someone. Always. And I know I keep on saying amazing, but like, it really is. Like, it's so good. If you watch it, let me know if you like it. I recently watched this movie, and I thought it was very interesting. The ending got me so fucked up. So fudged up. And the movie, and I would recommend this movie. It's one of my favorites also. It's called The Call. And this one is a little difficult to explain because me explaining stuff never goes good, and it just gets confusing. But I hope it makes sense what I'm gonna try to say. So basically, in this movie, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so there's this lady, the main character, right? And she goes back to her old home, I think, and she starts getting these calls, and she doesn't know where like who it is and stuff. She thinks it's like a prank call, but it isn't. So it turns out the person that keeps on calling her is someone from the past that used to live in the same house as her. And I don't know how she got to call. Like, I don't know how she was able to. Throughout the time they kept on calling, they became friends. It's two girls. These two girls became friends, and you know, they tried to kind of help each other. Like, the girl from the future tells the girl from the past, like, what happens in the future, and it's so confusing. But then turns out, they somehow changed the timeline by doing this thing, by warning each other and helping each other. They changed the timeline, and it just becomes very problematic, because turns out that the girl from the past wasn't really a good person, and she did some horrible stuff, and I'm not gonna tell you what she did, but she just caused a lot of trouble. The girl from the future lost a lot of things, and it's very interesting. I don't know if I made sense, but it's really good. It is good. It's called The Call, and the ending was just what left you on a cliffhanger, and you don't know what's gonna happen. If you don't like cliffhangers, don't watch it, because it got really good. Like, if everything led up to like a happy ending, and then it didn't end up like a happy ending, and it just left me mad, because where's the happy ending? The Call, you could watch it on Netflix. And House Moving Castle, I'm not sure where you could watch it. My sister got a copy of it. I think it's on Amazon. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But I hope you find it. So, yeah.
Hi guys! This is a really big Star Wars sweater that my uncle gave to me. It's pretty big. And look, I hung up my purses, or some of my, like, see, crossbody, I think. So, favorite song. I'm really sorry to disappoint, but I don't have a favorite song. I know, I'm really sorry about that. I really don't, but really anything by One Direction. One Direction. Okay, you know what? I'm really into Silver Spear right now though, and her song Ghost is super great. I recommend it. I guess it's my favorite song at the moment, but it's not my ultimate favorite song, but it's super, super good. Please listen to it. It's super good. I love it.
Okay, so songs. So I like K-pop. Do not hate me. And recently I have been having this song on repeat, and it's called Life Goes On by BTS. Maybe you heard it. The reason why I've had this song on repeat is because the message is really like, wow, you get me. So this song is basically saying that even though we are going through hardships in our life and everything is crazy and unpredictable, that we should always look on the bright side. And you know, the title, Life Goes On, that we have to see the beauty of life and focus on the beauty, if that makes sense. It's a pretty song. It's part of their B album. This is not a promotion. You haven't listened to it, this song, which probably many people haven't. Some people might not like K-pop for whatever reason, but if you are having like a hard time, you get me, this song really helps it just helps. Well, it helped me. If you're worried about like not understanding the song, there are subtitles and there is translations, so you don't need to worry about that. Unless you hate reading, then I understand. Yeah, I don't know. Their music always makes you feel good. And yeah. So yeah. Also very basic. One Direction has been on repeat since day one. I don't know. Their music always makes you feel better. And especially Harry's album, Fine Line. Like, that album is so good. Those are my favorite songs at the moment. Or albums. You know what? Both. They're both good. And I'll recommend them to you. And don't hate it till you try it. So yeah.
Hey guys, so quick update. I didn't finish cleaning my room by the end of the new year, but that's okay because I did actually clean it with the help of my grandma and my boyfriend. So I'm really appreciative of them. So if y'all are watching, grandma's not watching this, but Oscar, if you are, thank you for helping. It really helped me so much, like with my anxiety, and I just feel like I released so much negative energy, and now there's more space for good energy. And more importantly though, Daphne and I really want to mention, we found this really, really cool organization, and it's all volunteer based. Like, I think it was just some community members, and they saw there was this really big need for menstrual products, toiletries, and also bras for those who need it. You know, it's not always accessible. So for those who need it, this organization helps them. And it's really cool because you can host your own drive with them, like under them, and they even help you a little bit. Like, I think if you need advice, they also have like rules and regulations that will help you. And I definitely recommend checking out their page. We'll link it. And they even have an Amazon wish list, which includes like socks, I believe, and binders, and I think other toiletries also. And it's just really cool. Daphne and I mentioned, we started talking like maybe we can host our own, like after COVID. I know there's a really strong need for it right now, especially during COVID, but Daphne and I can't really do that because, you know, we can't really go out because of our families. But, you know, after COVID, we really do want to give back to our community, and maybe any of our viewers or just our friends can help us host a drive like under them, or also maybe just our own. Like, maybe Strawberry and Sunshine can try to make a community-based one that's like, that's more broad with what donations can be donated, because we really, really do just want to give back to the community. And we've talked a lot about this. We actually have a project that we want to do. So, and it's not technically related, but it's giving back to a community. So, I don't know, maybe if y'all would be really interested. Right now, just help her drive if you could, please. Like, if you can just check it out. Maybe raise awareness about it so more people can donate also. Or if you yourself can donate. Alright, thanks guys. Love y'all.